Good morning everyone from Samarkand. So I came here yesterday on the train from Tashkent. It took about 4 hours and it cost about £12, so it was pretty easy to be honest. Anyway, I'm super excited to be here because actually Samarkand's been like top of my bucket list for a really long time, so I'm really excited to be exploring today. I think today I'm gonna just check out most of like the main attractions. I'm staying in a place that's like walking distance from most of them, so that's pretty good. So yeah, I'm gonna head out in a minute. It should be really interesting. I'm really looking forward to it. Pretty much just arrived, but I have no idea how much it costs to get in, so let's go find out. As you can see, the tile styles are very similar to what we saw in Turkestan, but I'll give you some more information about that later. Still looking for the entrance. I think it's up here. Aha, there it is. I bet it's going to be expensive. But oh well, it's worth it. This is the Registan, one of Samarkand's most iconic landmarks. It would have been the heart of the city during the Timurid Empire times. It houses 3 different madrasas that you can visit, and it actually only costs £4 to get in. The first madrasa we're visiting is the Sherdor Madrasa. This is a 17th century Islamic school and makes up 1/3 of the Registan ensemble. Oh wow, there's like a courtyard in the middle. Never seen anything of this scale before, it's pretty incredible. The open-air courtyard is surrounded by lots of little rooms that would have served as classrooms and student accommodation. I don't think I was actually prepared for how beautiful it would be with all the tiles and like how many of them there are. Like how many buildings there are is just crazy compared to Turkestan. Let's go have a look at the next one. And this next one is called the Ulugbek Madrasa. It was built by the prominent astronomer and grandson of Timur, Ulugbek, in the 15th century. Once again, the intricately tiled archways lead you through a corridor into a peaceful courtyard similar to the previous madrasa that we went in. The interior of this madrasa, as you're about to see, is extremely special. As Ulugbek was a passionate astronomer, many of the motifs and decorations incorporated within this interior reflect that theme, such as geometric patterns of stars. This madrasa, being the oldest of the 3 and being built by Ulugbek, had a museum inside as well, explaining the history of astronomical research in the Timurid Empire. The third and final madrasa is the Tilia Kori Madrasa. Built in the 17th century, it's the youngest building of the ensemble, built 10 years after the Sherdor Madrasa. Once again, I was absolutely blown away by the intricate tile work. The geometric patterns in various shades of blue are so mesmerising. I could actually spend ages just studying them. And as with any major tourist attraction, there are plenty of souvenir shops pretty much everywhere, so you'll have plenty of opportunity to buy handicrafts and stuff if you come here. Well, as expected, that was absolutely incredible. So now I'm going to head to the mausoleum of Amir Timur. I think that's like the other main thing to do here. It's about an 18-minute walk away. Aside from the Registan, one of the most famous sites in Samarkand is the mausoleum of Amir Timur himself. After all, this was once the capital of his empire, so it's only right to pay him a visit. Once again, we're confronted with an incredible piece of architecture. The earliest part of this complex was built in the late 14th century. It was originally intended to be the tomb of Timur's heir, Muhammad Sultan. But when Timur died in 1405, the tomb built for him at Shari Sabz was inaccessible due to snow, so he was buried here instead. The chamber of the mausoleum is elaborately decorated with gold detailing and it's very beautiful. Not only is Timur buried here, but also his two sons and his famous grandson Ulugh. These ruined areas are the oldest surviving parts of the complex. That was actually way more beautiful inside than I was expecting, so yeah, all that gold and geometry. Time to head somewhere else anyway. Not far from the Timur mausoleum is another smaller mausoleum from the 14th century. I found out later that this one is said to contain a hair from the Prophet Muhammad. Not quite as elaborate as the other ones we've seen, but overall. There's quite a few in there. I decided that it was time for lunch, so I headed back to the main tourist area to find a quiet cafe. I chose this place because I really liked their courtyard garden. On the menu was all the usual Central Asian suspects, and I decided to get some vegetarian manti. I was not prepared for the size of the dish, however, and it took me quite some time to get through them. It was good to have some vegetarian food though. They were stuffed with a mixture of potato and onion and served with sour cream. Pretty much right next to the cafe where I had lunch is another very iconic Samarkand landmark, the Bibi Khanym mosque, named after the favourite wife of Amir Timur. This mosque was built in 1404 and it's said to have been one of the grandest and most beautiful mosques in the world at its time of completion. It's still pretty magnificent today, having undergone many rounds of restoration over the centuries. Parts of it collapsed during an earthquake in the late 19th century. In the 1970s, efforts began to restore it under the Soviet government. Inside the mosque compound is a huge courtyard surrounded by high walls. The gates are 35 metres high and are adorned with the ubiquitous blue tiles. 4 minarets stand at the outer corners, however previously there would have been a further 4, but these have not yet been restored. As you can see here, parts of the interior also haven't been restored yet, and it's interesting to see the contrast. Just opposite the mosque is the mausoleum of Bibi Khanym. I didn't go inside because it's very small and you have to pay for a ticket. Just a little further down the street is the Siyob bazaar, one of Samarkand's main local markets. I wasn't actually planning to visit, but I decided to go in and have a walk around anyway. Inside you can find many local sweets and treats such as dried fruits, nuts, halva and locally produced honey. There's also a lot of souvenir shops just in case you missed your chance at the million other ones around the city. It's definitely time for a coffee anyway. After all those mausoleums, I need something to liven me up a little bit. I got a cappuccino and they even brought me a little cinnamon shaker for it. Well, that's going to be it for this one. It's been an absolutely fascinating first day exploring Samarkand, and it definitely lives up to the hype. I'm really glad that I've made it here and ticked that one off the list. There will be another video from here though, because there's still loads more to see, so I'm going to save that for tomorrow. So I will see you guys then. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed seeing these amazing sights in Samarkand, and I'll see you in the next video.